On today's episode, I get the most wonderful, heavenly taste sensation because Gjenie Erbacher has brought her turmeric paste and mixed it with Queensland yogurt's
lemon myrtle and macadamia nut
yogurt. It is delicious. Stay right till the end. You'll hear about how Gjenie has conquered small batch manufacturing and built her new website so you can buy online. Where can they find you, Gjenie?
Just head to mrserbachers.com.au and you'll be able to purchase the products from there.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Hello and welcome to Stories from the Red Couch. I'm Robin Cook and today my guest is Gjenie Erbacher. Hi Gjenie.
Hi Robin.
How are you going?
I'm good. Happy to be back.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. That's fantastic. Now, when we spoke last year, you had instigated a sustainable agriculture program on your farm, and you had just started pulling together some products, small batch products, using your turmeric that you're growing on your farm. How's that going? Because I can see them here.
The collection's growing.
Yeah, so just what I'm really keen to know about, because you're a fantastic farmer, there's no doubt about that, and your produce is used widely on the Sunshine Coast. But how do you go from being a farmer to being a small batch producer? What's the first step?
Oh, wow. The first step.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
I think.
So is it multi-pronged like this?
Like an octopus. You can't. So the first step, well, with the turmeric paste, which I spoke about on the last time when we met, the turmeric paste was the first product which basically gave me a very, very fast lesson on manufacturing. The licenses you need, the requirements that you need to meet, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, and then from there, I suppose, it's the customers that, being a farmer, if you're on the farm and you're not out there connected to your customers or your community, you're missing that engagement of what they love about your products, what they, what their needs are and things like that. I know we spoke last time about the turmeric body butter, and that came about because of a gentleman that delivers our hay, and he has radiation burn, so which he doesn't have anymore. But through listening to what the customers want and needs are and what they're passionate about, then that drove me into just wanting to create stuff, that whole line, let food be your medicine type thing. So so there was an opportunity there, and I think a lot of people it's being brave enough to take that first step, that leap.
Of course. I mean, that must be a difficult thing, because if your brain is in the farming, then there is a certain amount of risk in pulling out of that a little bit enough to focus on something else, isn't there?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I held back a lot because of that fear of, what if I fail? What if people don't like it? What if I forget about something on the farm and I'm off the farm a lot more? I'm not on the farm as much, so my husband and my children, they sort of, have to lift that weight. So there's a lot, because we've added more produce.
What have you got now?
So we've got red pawpaws now, and we've still got the ginger.
They're my favourite. I love red pawpaw. So delicious.
I know, pawpaws are just So so there's so we're still doing that, and and still, as well as Erbachers, and the rest of the Erbacher farming family, we still offer the produce to other businesses along the coast, that connect to, that connection between the community and the farmer, which is so vital.
It is, and relatively easy to have in some ways here on the Sunshine Coast, because we've got a a heightened community awareness of our farming community, would you say?
Oh, definitely. And it just keeps growing. You know, the awareness keeps growing. We've got dragon fruit farmers, we've got pineapple farmers, macadamia nut farmers, banana farmers. I mean, there's really nothing that I feel that the Sunshine Coast, you know, can't really grow to I mean, admittedly, we struggle with the brassicas in summer, but that's okay. But, you know, it's really wonderful. Like, I have to give a plug to Harthy, you know, Harthy Indian, because they take our ginger and,
And that's a wonderful thing too, being able to supply straight into other businesses who are using your product.
Yes.
Yes. And do you think a lot of that awareness has come up through the Food and Agribusiness Network and the work that they've been doing?
Yes, definitely.
Over the last few years?
Definitely. I think that that FAN, the Food and Agribusiness Network, that's played a big role in the agricultural industry on the Sunshine Coast. You know, and there's a lot of fabulous farmers out there, Piggy in the middle, Honey. Oh my gosh, I could go on. And the other thing is that we as farmers are being able to connect a lot more easily and fluidly, so to speak, through these networks. You know, because sometimes, you know, you're not aware of who your neighbouring farmer is, you know, especially if you're not in that field.
Yeah, of course,
you know.
Of course.
So,
Now, tell me a bit about your rebranding, because this is, that's the original...
That's the original turmeric paste.
And you've got new labelling and packaging for the
turmeric body butter.
The body butters. So tell me about the process of repackaging things. How does that work?
So what we did was we brought in a business mentor for me, because I was really struggling with the balance between farming and creating products and being a small manufacturer, you know, and negating the all the boxes, you know, to be able to do it, and I felt really lost and overwhelmed. So we brought in a gentleman, Jason Virtue. He's a brilliant, and he comes in and gives you an overhaul, so to speak. And
that's brilliant, isn't it? I think it's a brave step to take in engaging someone, because even doing that throws up questions of, is this the right person for my business? Will I get on with them? How much money will I have to invest? Am I going to get a good return on my investment? So many questions.
Oh, there's so many.
And that's just the start.
And then you also have to, you have to be willing to acknowledge your own downfalls too.
Of course, and maybe that you're not always right.
Yeah, that's right. There was a couple of those. My husband likes sitting at the dinner table, you know, discussing my shortcomings. So, yeah, definitely, because, you know, I'm not savvy with technology, and, you know, there's a whole list of shortcomings that I don't want to advertise.
Well, you have your strengths, though, and that's where you're getting someone in to help you, where an area is not your strength.
That's right.
Rather than a shortcoming.
That's right.
You need some support in that, rather than floundering around and wasting time. And valuable resources.
And money.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
and doing something that you're not really equipped to do.
That's right. And, you know, one thing we as women do, we want to be able to do it all. You know, I can manage that. I'll take that on. I'll do this. And that asking for help, you know, oh, gosh, you know. So I think it's being brave enough to say, okay, I need the help and I can't do it all, so I have to be willing to accept help and have other people come in.
Do you think it's also a matter of saying, this is worth going forward with? It is worth the investment. I have got something good here. Now I need to bring other people in to help me to take it further?
Yes. Because you have so much self-doubt.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, sometimes I would feel like, oh, it's only me that thinks it's good, and not everyone else will think it's good. So, you know, you're challenged with those barriers that
All
you
the
try
time.
to break through all the time,
Yeah.
and it's with everything.
So how have you managed to validate the worth of your products?
Through my customers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's through the validation. It's not financial. It's when you run into someone and they come up to you and they give you this big hug and go, oh my gosh, my son had the worst nappy rash and I was using the turmeric body butter and it just, healed that, and you get this warm feeling and you think, maybe they got me on a low day and they've told me that, and I got home all invigorated, and it cements the struggles that you go through. The worries, the sleepless nights, the self-doubt, and then you sit there and you go, it's okay, this is all worth it. And you can take that leap of faith. So, and I see that it's not just in farming and it's not just in manufacturing small goods like this. I think it's with all business people. It's that all those challenges that we face, they're all the same challenges. Fear is fear, no matter where it sits.
What other fears have you had to overcome to move forward with your business? Just share the ones that you feel comfortable sharing. I'm sure there's a few we don't need to air publicly.
I think the biggest fear is failing. Still,
Yes.
still every day.
Yes.
I sit there and I go, I fear failing at this. Though others would say, you've made it. You're making it and people are enjoying it. That's really not failure. But there's sort of, it still niggles away at you. I'm not so fearful. I think the last time we spoke, we were facing a lot of challenges around manufacturing on the farm, meeting council regulations.
That's right. So where are you manufacturing now?
I'm still at the PCYC commercial kitchen, and we're still assessing the risk of whether or not we try to get manufacturing set up on the farm, or whether or not we just continue. We have tweaked around with the idea of taking it into like having our own sort of shop on the Sunshine Coast, where not only does it get made, but the public can come in and access us. Because the farm's not always accessible to the public. It's just not always viable.
Sure.
For the public to come in and.
But you're distributing the products.
Yes.
Aren't you? Where are they? Where can people buy them?
Oh, so I've got a website now.
Oh, that's exciting.
www.mrserbacher.com.au. It's all very exciting.
That's wonderful. So fairly new then?
It's very new.
Okay.
I think it's only a couple of weeks new or something like
exciting.
that.
Well
you
done,
should see
Gjenie.
me. I sit there and I go, I've got an order. And then I get onto the web designer, how do I process an order?
I love that.
So that's for the turmeric body butter and the pure base, not for the paste.
Yeah, because that's a whole different kettle of fish, because you're consuming that, you're
That's
eating
right.
that.
Yeah.
And this is topical.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I can easily post anywhere. It's free postage anywhere in Australia, so on the online store. But then I still have my outlets on the Sunshine Coast, Sandale Saldery, Woombye Rural, Sunray Nursery, Erbacher's Fruit and Veg. I still have those businesses that have been with me from the very beginning.
Yes.
Well, of course, Erbacher's have.
There'd be a rift in the family.
There would.
We don't want that.
No. Naturally, that people can still access them on the Sunshine Coast. So, the online store.
Has Jason got you thinking bigger picture, larger, broader, more product or is he happy? You know, you both of you happy to stay where you are and continue just
As
on the
we
Sunshine
are?
Coast? Yeah.
No, Jason's definitely got me thinking about a way of getting the products to reach people Australia-wide.
Yep.
Because, you know, there were quite a few customers that I've had that have been purchasing the products and then posting them themselves.
Okay.
So, you know, the products have been going over to Western Australia and Tasmania and
Fabulous.
places like that. And then I had been getting contacted a lot via the Facebook page, you know, around if I could post and things like that. And that was a very, it was very challenging for me with running the farm, a household, being a wife, being making the products, and then having to juggle giving account numbers and running down the post office and finding out what postage would be, and it was very complicated.
It would have been a nightmare, really.
Yeah, and it froze me up.
Yes.
And it made me sort of start that whole doubt and fear process again. It was all too much.
Yeah, because it's exhausting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Having to do all of those things, it's exhausting.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. And everybody knows social media doesn't shut down. It doesn't stop at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or give you weekends off.
That's right. When you want to put your feet up and have a beer.
And I hear the pinging and I go, and my husband goes, just leave it. And I can't, because I go, no, it could be really important. I have to access that. So overcoming a lot of those challenges is what Jason has really focused on, you know, overcoming the fears, the rebranding, you know, packaging, because pretty well much the products were not postable, you know, in the beginning.
No, that's right. So that's where the boxes come into it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Shall we open it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now tell me, there's two different ones, but they're the same. So tell me the difference between these two.
Okay. So the turmeric body butter, this one which you know of and all that, that's a really, really intense blend of the turmeric. So we also use the beeswax from our hives on the farm. So we blend the...
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
can
straight
see.
away you can see the difference in the colour, can't you?
Yeah. So the turmeric body butter, it packs a punch with the turmeric. So it's can't get any more intense than that. Now the pure base came about because a lot of my friends were talking about primers and, you know, when they're applying makeup, and they wanted you know, they'd really wanted to be able to put something on their face that acted as though it was a barrier between the makeup and their face and their skin. So offering a bit of protection to their skin,
Great idea.
you know, sort of, and it got me thinking about the beeswax being that barrier. You know, it has that, you know, water beads off of it. So I played around with the blend, and I wanted to still have the turmeric in there, but it not be so focused on turmeric. So there still is turmeric in there, but it's mild. So, you know, so when you apply it, and a little goes a long way, just like the turmeric body butter. So just on a clean face, applying it, and then putting your makeup over the top. And it's the response I'm getting back with the pure base has been brilliant. You know, their makeup, a lot of my friends are saying their makeup, especially the powders, you know, tend to stick and stay. So they're getting long-lasting makeup. And when they're taking their makeup off afterwards, their face isn't so blemished and red, because that pure base has been a bit of a protector from all the, you know, elements.
Nice. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the paste is the same, isn't it? You haven't changed
The paste is the same.
I love this paste. It's my favourite.
Well, I thought I'd give everyone a bit of a demo on how I introduce the paste to everybody.
Okay, please do.
Well, because everybody associates turmeric with a curry. You know, so they go, you know, I can only put the turmeric in a curry, but you can put the turmeric into
everything.
everything. Banana smoothies and yogurt, which is what I'm about to do, into your mashed potato.
Cakes.
Cakes, everything. So my favourite is the Queensland yogurt.
Yep, it is yummy.
Lemon myrtle and macadamia nut. That's my favourite. So I just take that.
Oh, it's chocolate block full of
Macadamia nuts, I know. Oh, it's full of macadamia nuts. Then I just take the paste, and I'm pretty liberal. I don't mind a lot of turmeric, so spoon of turmeric in.
Yeah, Liz is watching all of this.
Well, it's all very interesting.
It is.
The animals love it.
Well, she actually loves yogurt.
Oh, so
Yeah,
she
so
loves.
that's why she's alert.
Yeah. And so our horses get it, the dogs get it, we have it. You know, I sneak it into, if somebody's not a real fan of turmeric, or maybe it's that mindset of they don't really want to sort of give it a go, you can hide it in spaghetti bolognese. You can't taste it at all in spaghetti bolognese. The only hint that they'll know they've had it is maybe there'll be a little yellow pasta or something like that. So, you know. So I would have, well, I put a lot of turmeric in there, but, you know, if I would have, you know, half in the morning with some red pawpaw or something like that.
Yes.
And then the other half at night as a dessert.
Oh, yeah.
So,
beautiful.
you know, yeah, if you want to.
I will. That's so good.
Yeah. Kind of tastes like cheesecake.
It kind of tastes like cheesecake.
I know.
It does, totally.
I can never stay out of it. 'Cause
Yeah,
you go,
wow.
oh, it tastes a bit like cheesecake.
It's so delicious.
Yeah.
I love it, Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't done that before, so I've been buying the turmeric paste and I love it. But I hadn't done that.
Oh, you haven't done that one yet?
No, I will now.
I know. Just
Thank you.
be careful. You start eating too much
I
and
know.
then you get,
Hands
you
all
know.
over.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. My husband goes, do you really need 5 containers of that lemon myrtle yogurt?
Yeah. And so that's that really nice flavour combination is with the lemon myrtle and the turmeric. It's beautiful.
Definitely. Yeah.
And another local, you know, macadamia and lemon myrtle grows so well here on the coast.
Oh, I know. I know. We're so lucky.
We are.
We really are. And it's just, I love like the fact that, you know, on the Sunshine Coast, we've got such a massive community that love to support the farmer. They're such foodies. You know, the food festivals that go on, and, you know, I just think it just drives me, and it keeps driving. And that's what I think the community needs to understand is, you know, farmers are passionate.
Yes.
You know,
because it's really hard work.
they have to be passionate because we're all broke. And what drives us more and more is the community.
Yeah, that connection to the community and the appreciation.
Yeah, I mean the strawberry growers, you know, they did that big thank you, you know, so you know, they're all grateful. So, and then you get to benefit from, you know, amazing produce.
Amazing.
Yeah, so yes.
Thanks, Gjenie. Thanks for joining me.
My absolute pleasure.
And introducing me to that delicacy. That is fantastic. We will, I'm going to continue getting it, and I'm excited about this new...
the pure base.
The pure base, yes. So I'm going to give that a go.
Yeah.
Yes. So thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. It's been wonderful to have Gjenie here. We will see you next week, and I hope you stay safe.
You took the cheesecake away?